become trade artisan vendors and taught them how to make products that American consumers really want, so not pity purchases, so to speak, but how do you help them really become part of this competitive retail market? And so she's helping women all over the world who are now leading their households and helping to spur their economies, who didn't even have education before that. But the way that Debbie's able to do this, and she's been wildly successful on the Home Shopping Network, and she's doing great in the retail store, and she loves mentoring our students. But the reason she's successful is because she has a for-profit business, and she makes great money from it. And she has a nonprofit on the side, so she kind of formed them together and has this incredible hybrid model that's wildly successful in both accounts, and everybody benefits. So that's really, I think, where most people are going. That's really what I'm hearing from our students, what they're looking for. And it's even interesting to consider how we think of in terms of investment, because even that is starting to shift. Now I say starting, we've got a long way to go here. Money will always be significant, so I'm definitely not arguing against that. But the way that people are viewing investment is starting to change, and the markets are really starting to pay attention, and you have to. And so there's this new mentality emerging of investing in line with your values, that really it's not just about return anymore, it's about return and impact, and that there are two axes for considering good investments. And if you invest along the lines of, it's very interesting, if you look at the past 5 years and follow 100 best companies to work for, that's almost a more guaranteed investment than following the S&P 500 right now. And I think it just really reflects that companies who care about these things are doing well. And so everyone's starting to pay attention. And why? Because there is an effective skill set behind this, right? So Ashoka, the organization who just designated us as a Changemaker campus, Ashoka's 75% of their giving comes from business entrepreneurs who want to invest in social entrepreneurs. And the reason is, within 5 years, more than half of these people actually shift public policy, which is not a lot of time. So there is this change-making competency that's transferable, and this is a really, really great way to learn it. So this competency, I'll call it a skill set, includes things that are not new to any of us, right? Analytical skills. Koch uses this term of being flawsome, right? Having courage, not being afraid to fail. They want to see this in their future employees, but how are our employees going to be able to display this unless we give them opportunities to do this, unless they're actually studying people who have done this? Imagination, being creative, being able to be resourceful, thinking and information intake management, being able to think differently and strategically. These things came verbatim from the mouth of companies who want to hire college students for care. And these are competencies developed within a social entrepreneurship education. Bill Drayton is the founder of Ashoka. He just has incredible insight, and he said that these jobs for repetition are fewer and fewer. So the idea a generation ago that we were familiar with preparing ourselves for jobs, it just looks completely different. And so we can't be afraid of that. And the job market is moving to this everyone a change maker world. Everyone needs to be equipped to be a change maker. And whether or not your student is going to go out and become a social entrepreneur or wants to launch a venture, that's inconsequential. If they do that, that's incredible. It's great for all of us. It's a win for the world and everybody in between. But even if they don't, and we train them to do that, they're going to be set up for success regardless where they go. So this is why Rollins sees incredible significance in this. And as educators, it's our job to incorporate this into what they're doing here. So regardless, if you're coming to the table with medical skill set, with art history passion, with the human rights movement, passion, if you're a political scientist, if you're a historian, if you're a sociologist, so all these careers that we're kind of struggling with right now, because if you're a liberal arts major, we don't know exactly what that means in the real world. But this is saying those are absolutely relevant skills, and the way that we're educating and training our students is 100% what's going to help them when they get out into the workforce. So all of this is very exciting. And what it means for Rollins, we're asking these questions very seriously. How can we prepare students to channel their passion, what they're gaining in the classroom, what they're gaining from their work experience, in a way that makes them effective, right? So we love students that serve. Again, community engagement is foundational. But how do we channel the student who has served the homeless and is just really excited and wants to now be a servant for a living? How do we channel that into a very strategic and professional way so that students really understand this balance? Because they're not going to become less passionate. I'll just say that again. If there is an inclination to change the world, it's not going to go away. So it is our job to train them to do it in a really, really high quality way. And we actually did an internal survey of every single major at Rollins, and 86% of Rollins students want to learn more about social entrepreneurship. It is at the top of mind, this concept of doing well and doing good, and there is not a willingness to choose one or the other. So again, SESi it's a brand new campus resource. It really just formalized this year. And what we're doing is we're working with faculty from all different areas of campus to help develop these competencies into existing majors, into existing programs, and trying to determine what do we need to build that we don't currently do. So at Rollins, what a social entrepreneurship education looks like to us, these are our learning outcomes, and you'll notice they're quite similar to what the employers are looking for. So, applied creativity, initiative, innovation, letting students try and fail and try again and learn that failing is a stepping stone and it's not the end of anything. How can we use that to strengthen ourselves? Using a systematic approach to problem solving. So once students graduate from Rollins, we don't want them to be naive and assume that X might work. We want them through their 4 years to have to learn a little bit deeper and a little bit deeper about the questions behind the questions and to be really confident in, all right, you think we want to drive social change, what does that actually mean? And maybe that's not the point, and what people are looking for is this new terminology called tri-sector athletes, right? This understanding of different stakeholders and being able to understand that there's policy implications and there are financial implications to everything, and there are financial drivers, and and that you've got to be able to understand this cross-divisional nature. So these are what faculty right now are building into the classroom in a few different ways. This is really, really exciting, and it's kind of cutting edge. So almost every college in the US right now is screwing to develop some type of curriculum in this, and we're a little bit ahead of the curve, which is incredible, and our partnership with Ashoka has helped us do this really well. So these are 3 courses right now, 4 courses that I just wanted to give you a heads up on that are going to be taught for the first time this spring at Rollins. The first one is in the MBA program, and then there are 3 classes that are social entrepreneurship classes. One is in impact investing, where the students are actually partnering with our local community foundation, and they're going to be dispersing $100,000 worth of grant money, and they're going to have to be looking at what this actually means and what to consider, and it's going to be really, really interesting. There's an introduction to social entrepreneurship, and then there's the strategies for change-making course. The reason I want to show these to you is, as parents, it's really, really important for your students to hear that you support this concept and that you believe in their drive to make a change. Because it can be really powerful, and we're equipping them with the tools here, but again, it's new. And they need your support, and they need your encouraging them toward offerings like this. And if you believe that they can do it, they're going to do it. And we see that time and time again. We've also been working really hard to develop internships and mentorships in this space, again, with really quality innovators, really quality employers. Students who are interested have the opportunity to go on conferences out in the field. Students with ideas are coached to help bring their ideas to fruition. They're given resources. We're an official partner of the Clinton Global Initiative, who's helping make student social ideas really viable. lots of really exciting things happening, and this is really just the beginning for us. So with that, I'd like to just kind of open this up for any type of discussion. I know I just threw a lot of information at you. This is my name and my contact information. I've also got a lot of cards up here. So if any of you have any questions or are interested in following up beyond this, I'd love to talk to you anytime. Love to talk to your students, your families. And we've got a couple students and parents. I'd like to introduce a few people individually who can help field some questions. So Megan Curry actually works in our office, and she's been really involved with this initiative as we've done research over the past couple of years. Donna Kimbrand is a Rollins parent, and she has a wealth of knowledge and experience in Ashoka in the social entrepreneurship space, and probably has since before I was born. So these are just incredible resources, and we've got lots of books we can recommend, so I'd love to just see if anyone has any thoughts or questions, or if you want to give any feedback.
Well, how are the students on campus being informed about this initiative? I mean, I'm just curious if my son knows that he has these opportunities.
Yeah, that's a great question. And you know, a lot of the students do, and a lot of them still don't. So we're really working toward that, and I think my hope is that you'll help us. So we kicked off our Changemaker Campus designation this year with a huge campus event. We brought in Nicholas Kristoff, the entire freshman class. We're at Half the Sky, which is about social entrepreneurship. And so we've been really integrating this into different components. But again, we've only been in school for a couple of months, and so really it takes a while for this to settle in, again, that this is real and that there are these resources. So yeah, absolutely. Help be our mobilizers.
So are you working with any of the on-campus groups, let's say the sororities and fraternities, or some of the on-campus, all the different groups on campus? I think that this generation knows a lot, at least here at Rollins, about service, but not impact. And so I'm just curious how you are moving that along. Is it going to be part of the core curriculum, or how you see that moving forward?
That's a great question, and that's something that we're talking really thoughtfully about a lot right now. So we are, for the next 5 months, we're really kind of launching into strategic planning and how something like this sets up permanently Rollins and how it does complement existing things like community engagement and bring it to the next level, and what our students need that they don't currently have, right? So, so actually, like our community engagement office, for example, and our philanthropy center and our entrepreneurship center, which are coming at things from different angles, are really kind of the core hub of looking at this and how we do it. So yes, we are reaching out through existing vehicles, but also we want to challenge students to understand that, right? Like we're not just going to call this group social entrepreneurship because that's not what it does. There's a caliber and there's an expectation and there's a strategic understanding that we want you to gain. So it's helping students understand there's a continuum, and I think the biggest and best thing that we're doing is making this a discipline. I mean, it is an academic discipline. There are scholarly journals, and we have a group of faculty right now from several of our different colleges who are working on developing a major in social entrepreneurship, which is very interesting, and it's such a blend of business competencies and social competencies. And this idea that there would be impact tracks where students would actually get the idea to develop an idea throughout this course of their major, and then their senior year capstone experience, they're trying something real, they're getting some resources to play with it, give it a shot. If it fails, awesome, you got to try before you hit the real world. If it works, amazing, we just set you up for an entrepreneurial career. So that is the biggest and most wonderful project that we're working on, is what that looks like. So these are our first classes, again, that are hitting the books, and if they go well, which we're planning on, we're hoping at the end of next year to maybe launch either a major or a minor or some type of program.
It seems like you're trying to approach this from different angles. Is there one entity driving to create synergies to culminate in what you're trying to achieve?
This would be the entity. It is the SESi office.
Yep.
Yeah, this is
so that's
it.
the driving force.
It is, yes. This is